Brew is not the best initiation like a Slather or Batters. It's not an instant blink stun. It's not an instant blink lasso. There's not many 5-position supports that can do it, and the only one really that comes to mind is Venge. That late game swap initiation is a very reliable tool to have. So I like this ban a lot. That's the exact hero I was thinking Liquid wanted for Kuro. Other 5-position initiators are not as reliable. Maybe they're more like early game ones, like disruptor type heroes, but they're not going to do what Avenge can do.
Yeah, something like a Lion or a Shadow Shaman aren't really in the meta any longer, but we do have a Crystal Maiden that's going to get taken, which does sort of send this a little bit towards the earlier game, I would think. Going up against the Lone Druid Rubik, I feel like you have to be pretty aggressive with this lineup for it to work.
Turn to pick.
Yeah. A lot of mana to go around, but you're picking the CM. I mean, a lot of good control from the Frostbite. Does do fine against the Centaur. The Centaur is definitely not a counter pick for the CM by any means. If anything, the CM is not the best zoning hero early on, so Centaur should have a decent laning stage. And the Centaur's picked up more to complement the Lone Druid. Give him an escape if he ever gets jumped on, where he can stampede away, reposition, and then come back into the fight. So I like how the Centaur pick works for Bears. We've seen it going back to the previous games, so it does seem like a hero that Forever is more than comfortable on.
Yeah. Very interested to see how that works. We have also seen sometimes the Centaurs have a little bit of trouble getting that initiation off, particularly if they go for a more tanky build. I think that in the earlier series today that you and Cap casted, there was like a great play from Cloud9 where they're able to get like a lift back and then stealing Centaur ulti. Not going to happen this time because Rubik's on this side, but Invoker is going to be the pick. We get a little bit of a treat. Miracle Invoker.
Yeah, this is, I think the Centaur we saw get exploited. Well, they exploited the opposing team's slack with the Centaur pick because it's like this hero that isn't going to necessarily match up well against the Centaur with the return. Instant response from Bears. Alchemist Gaming, it's happening. They're going for the late game cores. They've got the Lone Druid, they've got the Alchemist. They are going to put Liquid on a bit of a timer. And the problem with the Invoker pick is it's not like a fast tempo mid laner that can easily contest the Alchemist farm. None of these heroes are. CM Coddle are not heroes that are going to go roaming through the enemy jungle. Brewmaster, perhaps once he gets like his blink timing, can do that. But Alchemist, this is looking like a game where he can easily free farm his, not so much free farm his lane, but free farm his jungle, have at least an okay laning stage. This is a really good pick for this Bears draft.
Quite strong and helps to hold that high ground as well if the push does come. You think back to that Venge ban. If they had taken that and then went back for the Invoker, you could go something funky like take a Chen with the last pick for Team Liquid and just go for that all-out push. But with the Crystal Maiden, you're not really afforded that same opportunity. So they need to really, I mean, can they go for something else that's really late game themselves, or do they have to go for something that pushes the tempo?
I was thinking Timbersaw, which is like the in-between. It's late game, but it's kind of fast tempo, but more than anything, it's a counter pick. It beats Alchemist, it beats Centaur, at least in the mid game. The lane stage, you're not going to necessarily dominate, but Timbersaw would have been the perfect counter pick. Other counter picks for Alchemist,
Ursa maybe?
The carry role. Ursa's okay, but once the Radiance comes online, you have problems dealing with the mischance. Ursa doesn't fight well into the Lone Druid, the Stampede. I think Ursa is like super all in. It could be the pick, but it just doesn't seem like the safest pick. I wonder if you go something crazy, like bust out the Lycan or something. You know, Lycan's been banned the last 2 games. It's Matumba, man. It's like his hero. Is this it? Do we finally get that last pick Lycan? I want to see something like that because I feel like this Alchemist does give Bears a draft advantage. I think it's a hero that's going to cause them problems. Perhaps the other option is you go back for the Meepo, but who plays the Meepo? Who plays the Invoker? Matu is not an Invoker player really as far as I know. He's also not a Meepo player as far as I know, but who knows? This guy is incredibly talented. He's 9k MMR for a reason. He could definitely surprise us. Meepo is still a viable pick. If you want fast tempo, Meepo I think is the best hero. Lycan's perhaps a more comfort pick though.
Is Drow too weird of a pick at this point as the Spirit Breaker ends up getting taken there?
Drow is a decent option, but Liquid historically have struggled with doing those Drow drafts. That's where they had that phase where Kuro used to play the Drow. They had one Drow game, I think, in this qualifiers early on, which they lost as well. Every time I've seen them run Drow, it doesn't feel like they're that comfortable with Drow Ranger. But if this was like for most teams, I'd be like, if there's a secret with this Drow, I'd be like, hell yeah, get a Drow. This is great. That's like your bread and butter. It's just not so much Liquid's strongest point, but they may just decide it's the best hero. Other possible heroes I see is like the Luna Drow, Lycan. I think Meepo might be one of the better picks. So it's just whether or not Matu is comfortable playing either Invoker or Meepo, since that would end up with him on one of those 2 heroes.
Whatever it ends up being, Liquid feel like they definitely have to hit this strong timing. Game goes on too long, it's going to be an issue for them, really. And, well, it is going to be the Lycan, the first professional game. Wolfman.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Honestly, it's like, I don't know if, I think the Meepo pick would have been perfect, but again, player-wise, they struggle. I think as far as suiting their players, suiting Matu, suiting Liquid, this is the pick to go for. It's a pretty fast tempo as well as being able to take down towers, so we get to see 7.02 Lycan.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. I cannot wait for this. And there's one other thing we need to keep our eye on. There was a bug that was introduced with the most recent patch with Spearbreaker, where when you charge somebody, they could see the ward placement thing. I don't know if you saw that post on Reddit, but it was also the same thing that was going on with Spectral Dagger. I'm not sure if that's been patched or not, but it could be a bug issue. We'll have to keep our eyes out for that and see if there's any weird movement once the charges start coming through. But for now, we're going in to game number 3, Team Liquid facing off against Bears, the final one in the upper bracket finals. All right, I'm just going to say I hit that timing perfectly. Oh, that was great.
Nice. We're into a pause. Classic. It's a Dota game. The pause is like it's like the christening, it's like you're now a human being.
Exactly.
But it's gonna be interesting to see this. Like, I wonder if it was one of those things where Bears is just like, well, we just really want to ban these other heroes, let's take that approach, or if they actually forgot about banning it this game, because they banned it the last 2 games, which makes me think they just decided there were bigger concerns for them. But this is going to be interesting to see their approach as far as the Lycan goes.
Can we go through some of the big changes? To me, the biggest one is Howl giving HP to the rest of your team. There were a couple little changes as well with the Wolves, with the invis factor that they have now, where they're at level 4 going to have permanent invisibility, and then 3 and 4 they get the cripple. How much do you rate this hero? As Firo...
what's happening bottom? Firo, you're getting very close.
Kuro,
Frostbite, he's got it.
They walked back in. Sunstrike. He's going down. First blood, GH. Good start.
Yes, this hero first got implemented in 7.00. It was broken as fuck. This hero was just winning every single game imaginable. Howl was like it was like a short cooldown Chen Hand of God. It was healing everyone and giving them damage. This hero was pushing like crazy. It was insane. It received a lot of nerfs in the 7.01 to tone it back a bit, but it's still very potent. The new Howl is really the biggest change, where you get the bonus health, as well as your Necro books get bonus health as well. So it's this big scary push, and at night you get the is it double or whatever? Yeah, double effect during night. So you really want to be pushing and playing around the nighttime, which is a bit counterintuitive with Keeper of the Light, but it's not really the biggest concern as far as, like, if you're pushing and have a strong enough army, you don't care that you don't have that Coddle Ags heal, and Coddle may not even have an Ags at that time.
No. On this ward placed down as well, unlikely to get de-warded, I would imagine, unless they spotted him heading over with the Observer ward placed down by Liquid. I guess it's also worth considering, do you feel like this draft from Bears is a little bit greedy at all, considering they have the Alchemist, they've taken the Lone Druid? Do they need to be concerned about the push that's going to come from Liquid?
A little bit, for sure. Alch and Lone Druid together is definitely on the very greedy side of drafts. As far as their deep push and stall goes, it's not the best as well. Spirit Breaker as a support, Rubik with him. Like, this is not the scariest support duo to contest some of those early timings. Kuro, though, will get found. Not going to go down, but does disrupt his jungle, stops him getting level 2 just by leeching that one small creep. And we'll push him back to the tower, cancelling his clarity. But yeah, the greed factor is definitely a concern with this last pick Lycan.
Mm-hmm. I'm also seeing a little bit of a different build out of the... Actually, I need to hold that thought. GH taking a little bit of damage here, as is Fata, but they'll face him back. We occasionally see the Invokers go for early Ring of Bassi to deal with the Acid Spray spammed out, but looks like Invoker just comfortable last staying against him, and we're not going to be one to question Miracle's Invoker builds, but interesting look.
Yep. Yeah, Alk is winning the CS battle so far. Sunstrike. Oh, Miracle. He's getting charged. He gets the cold snap off. He's dead.
Oh, man. Timely charge there by Adam.
Firo, well played. Even without that charge, it looked like that could have been a turnaround. I don't know if Firo gets the kill without the stun, but he wasn't going to die, that's for sure. The Acid Spray was slowly welting away a Miracle. That Sunstrike was very well read by Firo.
Yeah. Heads up play indeed, and well, we're going to have to see if this ends up being a continued thing. We're going to be going 12-13-0 on Alchemist to start the game and get a kill here. This is really going to be a problem. I guess he only got part of the kill, the assist, and did die once for that first blood, but a nice start nonetheless.
Let's see what the next moves are going to be. Adam likely wants to hit this level 2 until you get that Greater Bash. You're not the scariest roaming hero as a Spirit Breaker.
This could be the timing, though. Kuroki moves in. They're able to get the Frostbite Sunstrike as well. Firo walks backwards.
Is it going to be enough?
Really, really well-timed dodge. What? Oh, man. Alchemist a little bit lucky, mixed with skill, and they make it work. Bottom lane still gearing up for a little bit of a battle here as they're trying to chase down the Yapsor, but not going to happen.
I mean, I've seen that a few times now where you know that Invoker is going to slightly place the Sunstrike for your backstep because the Frostbite duration is not quite enough to guarantee a Sunstrike. So you kind of predict the Alk's movement to retreat post Frostbite, and instead of retreating, you walk into them. And it's such a great read that he walks forward, guesses where Miracle's placing the Sunstrike, and as a result, he survives once again. That's 2 missed kills in a row on this Alchemist. Firo is playing some good Dota right now.
He clears out the camps as well. At least does a decent amount of damage to the hard one. Going to use the Shrine and then head back into lane also. So being able to go back there topped off, still a little bit of a problem that he's been missing out a whole wave of CS, but not the end of the world certainly. And if there's a hero that can catch back up, it's definitely Alchemist.
Yeah, I mean, Alchemist is one of those heroes that we saw like an earlier Alk game. This, I think it was from Bears as well, where Alk had like no CS whatsoever. I think even we saw some Nip Alchemist games, but you just fall back in the jungle with Iron Talon, slowly farm your armlet. You could have 10 CS right now in Alchemist and you wouldn't be concerned.
Adam, in the meantime, they pop the Howl. Not going to be able to run him down, obviously. He just charges on out of there, and he's been able to get that early rotation in towards mid, but been somewhat quiet since then. What do you feel like the Spirit Breaker's purpose is going to be in this game? Where's the main lane to gank?
Keep the supports preoccupied, less perhaps about kills and just as much about just running at the CM and Coddle. These are 2 very squishy supports, and you can limit what they can do by just having a charge threat. They're Kuras that don't like getting charged upon, like Kuro until he has boots is very easy to chase down. Even if you get Frostbane, you can still chase him down after that. So I think you're less concerned about getting kills and just happy to help your team win the lanes and create space. Because you've got such a greedy lineup with Lone Druid and Alchemist, any space you can create for those 2 heroes is going to go a long way.
Well, and you can see that ward placed down deep in the jungle was spotting out CM farming, and he could go in there if he wanted to, but at least for now, Adam just sort of setting up for mid lane at least. Here to help out if Miracle gets a little bit too testy, the Cold Snap Sunstrike combo. And everything just kind of being status quo.
Howl coming out, but not really a threat onto Centaur 4F's life up top. We are seeing the full Exort Quaz build, at least to start with. He's gone back for a point in Wex at level 6. There's a lot of Wex Exort Invokers we've seen in this tournament where there's just like this pure Alacrity Chaos Media combo, but it seems Miracle wants the Cold Snap Sunstrike duo for the most part, and has now got at least the 1 value Alacrity point.
You can see the constant
lane
pulls over here as well, but GH shows they're going to try and go for it. A couple right clicks going in. They also have the movement slow, going to get pulled back in, and GH also getting the stun on mind control. Can they get the body blocks? They need a bash. They managed to find one, the slow, the turnaround, and well, he should be able to walk away from this one as the rest of Bear's back.
Yeah, they'll shrine it up. It looks like Kuro teeping down here, but that shrine will be scattered as Adam is on the low ground, has the observer ward as well, but he'll just happily walk on past. Nice little kill there. Good use of that Stampede. 4F knows he's unlikely to, he's not going to get any kills up top with it. The main downside is if he gets ganked, he won't have it to escape, but getting a kill for this safe lane where you've got this lone druid trying to farm and he's not really a hero that can really achieve a whole lot on his own. It's a good way to use that first Stampede.
Definitely.
Alk is just teeping around bounty runes, by the way. He is level 4, maxed out Greevil's Greed. Bounty rune, bounty rune, bounty rune all day long.
Oh, bottom lane in the meantime, Yapsor are going to get ran upon. They kill him before the Sunstrike hits. But I guess that is one thing. If you are just kind of running around the Alchemist, there's no pressure applied anywhere, really. I mean, not that he would anyways, but they can kind of just roam around with 3 heroes. Do you think this is fine for Firo, though?
Yeah, he's totally fine. He's farming ridiculously well for an Alk considering this game. He's fasting faster than what we've seen some other Alks do, and he may get a kill here.
Oh, Miracle, he's going to get gone upon. They do not have any detection, though, and, well, it felt like maybe there was a moment where they could have lifted, pulled back into the stun, didn't go for it. Now YapzOr just going to get a cold snap and force backing away.
Yeah, they're going for the full efficiency play where they tried to like maximize their damage output, save the lift for later on so they could channel up the Alk stun perhaps a bit longer, but unable to get the kill. Still okay, again, that's not, I mean, that would have set Bears up to be like in a big laning stage advantage, but it's not like they're in a tough spot because they missed that kill. Alchemist is still farming very well. He's doing a really good job just timing his movements. Like, his farming patterns have been very impressive. Whenever there's a rune coming up, he grabs that bottom bounty rune and then TPs to the top shrine to grab the other bounty rune. And then as he's there, he farms the camp. And then by the time he's farmed the camp, he walks back mid to farm the lane. So he's being very efficient with his play.
And you can see there Kuroki as well, trying to run around and snipe away a couple of these camps from him whenever possible. They're bringing in mind control. The charge was chasing, so actually call that off as Adam not wanting to dive for it. A lot of vision in this jungle.
Yeah, they recognize all those heroes there, and it looks like the D-ward from Adam, well, he gets the sentry in the right place, but needs that courier to help him out. And there we go, he'll be able to, we'll be able to D-ward it once mind control's out of the way.
Ah, mind control claps at him, backing out again.
Bit annoying, you don't have that flying, you've got to bring the courier out if you want to D-ward that now, and mind control is this is so obnoxious.
Gonna defend the ward, promise. Meanwhile, Stampede up in the top trying to take down Matumbaman, but he got the shapeshift off, and now he's sort of turning his wolves back over onto them.
You're not stampeding him down. 650 movement speed, hello. So, good job staying alive there. Doesn't quite have the money for his Vlads yet, but is level 7. We don't really see the Lycan truly come online until like that 10 to 15 minute stage as far as being able to break towers. It's a slow-paced hero early on with the early levels. I feel like Liquid's draft really hits its peak around that level 15 Invoker, getting the double Forge Spirits. That push with double Forge Spirits, Vlad's Necrobook on Matu, that's when Liquid are kind of at their scariest.
We'll have to
and
see.
They want to do that before Alk gets too farmed, because he could theoretically have like a Radiance by that point, but you don't want to make sure you start taking all the towers and punishing the Alk pick at around that stage.
I think GH right there just did a little bit of the push away on the Spirit Breaker who was charging in. They call it off. But again, kind of a weird laning stage, and it feels like Liquid are getting what they want out of it as far as those levels, building towards the items. When's the point where do you need to try and throw a combo breaker in there for Bears, or do you just sort of do the same thing and get that Alchemist up as Radiance?
So they have the blink on Centaur. It's kind of hard to reliably initiate for kills. They've been trying to do it with the Stampede. So they got the first Stampede kill down bottom. The second Stampede kill attempt was up top on the Lycan, which they missed. So that's kind of been their plays. Like, they're just going for these small little ganking squads. It was a Centaur and Lone Druid up top. They had 3-man gank on mid. They missed 2 of those kills they went for, which sets them back a little bit, but even failed kill attempts still create space for Fira to farm. So they're hitting their item timings on the Alchemist for the time being. They don't have to be overly concerned until that big push starts coming. They've just given up the 1 tower now at bottom, but that was kind of inevitable with this constant Coddle Brewmaster pressure.
And YapzOr in the mid lane, going to take a good bit of damage. They're going to run in with Matumbaman after the fact. Sunstrike is going to be on the mark, and now chasing Fira a little bit as well. Mind control in the area. Everybody suddenly here. Frostbite going to break the TP. Firo in a lot of trouble, stampeding, running away. There's the lift up. The Bruce Split was already committed for this, and Forev also in the area. They're trying to break this up, but Chase continues. The right clicks are there. There's the Illuminate for the kill. GH picks it up, now throwing up in the air the Centaur as well. This team fight is going terribly for Bears. Miracle is going to get the Ghost Walk out, running out and away. Mind control controlled and going to die. But they're still throwing out more damage. GH lifted up in the air. The stun comes through as well with the charge. And finally, we get an end to the cacophony. Sunstrike hits him, ties the kill onto Adam. Miracle, the Magic Man. He's doing it again.
That ward's still there. It gave him the vision. That ward that
oh my God.
Ward. He ends up dying because of it. That dreaded ward. Adam is going to be so angry about that ward right now, but it's a good fight for Liquid considering the Alchemist goes down and they don't lose core hero. I mean, they lose the Matu Brewmaster, but he gets his job done trading his life to the Alchemist. Miracle and Matu stay alive, so definitely a favorable fight for Liquid. But Bears at least salvage things a little bit there towards the end, making sure they get a couple of kills in return. They charge back in, but they still have to be a little bit concerned because they do not want to see Firo going down. His item timings are crucial for the overall Bears game plan.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that they're going to have to make sure they stay up on. I've just been so impressed with Liquid's ability to invade this jungle. They've completely taken it away from the Alchemist and every hero from Bears, pretty much. I feel like this is the way that you've just got to play against an Alchemist, so take notes, everybody. He has been able to still get that farm in spite of it, though, and going now over into the Ancients and should be able to keep his farming up. Already about halfway to that Radiance.
I want to say it was Bears themselves who were in this same position against like an NIP draft where they just had to farm only their secondary jungle. They couldn't even farm their main jungle with the Alchemist. And that's what it feels like now. Although they have regained some control. They've got good vision around their jungle, de-warded most of Liquid's vision, but Liquid can look to play around their smokes. They're going to have a Blink Dagger soon on Brewmaster they can play around. And Mind Control with his ultimate coming back up is once again in this bottom lane looking to apply some serious pressure and force Bears to come back and react to this.
Kuro right under a ward right here, though, and, well, they are going to at least scout out as he places one. We'll see where he puts it.
Yeah, this feels like a dangerous place to be now for Liquid, given the Radiant vision, but it does seem like they're not aware that Radiant has so much ward coverage in this jungle, because they knew they would not be hanging around for too much longer. And there's the ward.
Oh, this is really big. Forev just picked up his Blink Dagger as well, and if they could find a kill onto Mind Control, he does not have his.
He's keeping out.
Okay.
He gets out.
Kuro should die here, maybe? Matumba Man?
Maybe the bigger kill. If you can get Matu, that's big, but where did Brewmaster? He's headed back. He just... Okay. He TP'd and then rejoined with his team, and they're once again grouping up near this bottom lane. This is kind of the timing I talked about. You've got a bit earlier, but at least now you've got the levels on Lycan. He's maxed out both Feral Impulse and Summon Wolves. They missed the crush.
Oh, Forev, they're going to be able to get away with that. That really hurts. Man, they needed that stun so much.
Here come Liquid, though. They've got a great initiator in the Brewmaster.
Right.
And even though Yap's a stolen Shapeshift, that may save his life, it's not going to offer too much teamfight presence for him.
Liquid not wanting to take it yet. It looks like they're going to turn and head over towards mid lane, at least for now, and GH going to get charged. So they realize what's happening. They're coming in this direction. There's the Force Staff back out and away, and well, it looks like they are going to be able to escape. But on the other side, Firo controlled the Curl ulti. It's going to end up killing him. No! He gets away! The Shrine is there as well! The turnaround! Oh, Kuro! It was so close, but going to be just a little bit too far away, and Firo will live. It does not look like they're going to end up taking down Mind Control, though. Firo stuns himself. TP, not enough mana?
Continuing to juke. You should get found unless they...
Oh my god, what? They didn't find him! Kuro gets out.
That Sentry ward up there, I guess he thought maybe Kuro warded and then TP'd out, so the Sentry won't find anything. Kuro gets out. What a play from Yapster, though. In Dream League, we had a nickname. We were calling him Yappy Hot 4 because he was just making so many plays. He felt like the hottest 4-position player out there at the time, and that was a sick reaction from him. He gets in there, just manages to lift and cancel the freezing field, saving the Alchemist's life at the last second, turns it around with the freezing field. Very well played by him, but somehow no one dies, I guess. That's a thing.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I mean, that favors Bears, though, like keeping their Alchemist alive. He has his Relic now. He's about to finish the Radiance itself. 16 minutes in. Considering the aggressive lineup of Liquid, at least their mid-game aggression, you're very happy with this.
All right, and another initiation could be coming. Forev, a chance to redeem himself after that failed stun in the bottom lane, which, of course, it happens from time to time, but it would be a big one here if they could pick it up.
Yeah, it's one of those. Matu, like, slightly stuttered and moved his hero back right as he went in. Caught him by surprise with it. And we'll see the bottom tier 2 tower go down. Bears were positioned around the top side of the map. They had the Alch farming up top. They didn't want to be too far away from him. They also felt like they could engage on mid, so they wanted to play on the top side of the map, but Liquid seem aware of that. Kuro's like circling like the entire jungle, like they're somewhere here, guys. Here's the information. But I mean, he's spot on. He did circle half the mini-map, but he is accurate in his assessment.
They're somewhere up there, absolutely. Well, Tier 2 tower ostensibly going to be traded since they took down the bottom one. It looks like Liquid actually want to take this fight. All right. Stampede's still available. They're going to blink out. I think that they do escape from this one. Yapsor not going to get controlled, and yeah, Sunstrike certainly not on the mark. But that's Radiance timing. 16 minutes.
Yeah, so what's the Lycan timing looking like for his Necro book? He's got Necro 1. Okay, so with Lycan, this is where you're at this point where all it takes is one good team fight, and it's Aegis. One good team fight, and it's tier 2 towers down, and then another good team fight, and you're pushing high ground. So this is the stage of the game where Bears have to be very careful about how they approach team fights, which team fights they choose. If anything, they want to be avoiding any possible fights. Like, you've got this Radiance, but use it to farm. Don't try and fight into Liquid's draft, because this Primal Split can win them fights, and then they've got a draft that will quickly turn a one team fight into towers.
Oh, they throw out the ulti. Tornado is going to connect those. Sunstrike as well. Why not? See you later, Adam. And now Matumba Man looking to finish this off. A good Savage Roar will keep the rest of Liquid back, but
that's Roach though, yeah. So it's not even, it doesn't even have to be a team fight, as Liquid prove. It can be just a single pick off and spells being used. You use a Stampede, we kill your Spirit Breaker, we go into Roche. Whether or not Forev can do anything about this, we'll have to wait and see. He's got a Blink Crush, and Yapster is in the neighborhood, but Alchemist is just not fight ready. Lone Druid is just looking to be a bit too squishy to try and fight as well, so no contest in the Roche.
Miracle picks up the Aegis, picks up a Blink Dagger as well, and with GH out there standing guard, it feels like it's just so hard to move up and contest. Blinding Light is there, Illuminate spam, Mana Leak, everything. And now, is this the timing where we start to see them attempt to really just burn down all of these towers? Is it that point in time in the game?
Absolutely. They're going to be the 5-manning Deathball team. Bears are going to be the split-pushing, let's somewhat avoid fights kind of team. They have got smoke, so I mean, outside of split pushing, they can try and smoke for pickoffs, but they don't really want full-on 5v5 engagements when the Primal Split is up. And Liquid are the ones who would love those kind of a team fight. Mid lane, Forev needs to, it doesn't have a blink. Okay. Ooh. Looks like Kuro was just out of range of mind control. Was also a bit too far away. But yeah, this is where Liquid will try and barrel down lanes, and Firo will try and split push the side lanes using his boots to travel.
Oh my god, another combo catches out for Rev, the full Meteor, and well, can they get the slow? Not going to be there. Kroki would love some form of initiation item, but is sort of that poor Crystal Maiden.
But similar to that last Stampede, it's a defensive Stampede to save lives, and it allows an objective to be taken. Last time it's a Roshan, this time it's a tier 2 tower. They will likely have to back off and wait for another shapeshift to happen, but they may even have a pick.
Oh my god!
Gets sniped.
All right, Miracle, the lift up.
Miracle.
Tornado is just working.
The Firo play and walk forward to dodge it, but there was just not enough time to dodge it. And Hal could theoretically, the threat to the high ground is much more to force Bears back, and when they see the hoof stomp and the acid, they may have to retreat here. But still, good damage being done by Liquid.
I don't know. They're dealing a good bit of it, definitely, and. To spam out the Illuminate, it does look like Liquid are at least going to back for now, and I mean, it is sort of more value now, taking down those tier 3 towers and being able to shut down the shrines. Something to think about a little bit.
Necrobook wears off though, shapeshift in 25 seconds, so they'll change course and head towards top. Miracle will just casually Sunstrike Fata. These are... Oh, that Illuminate didn't land. If that Illuminate hits, he's down to like 200, 300 HP. This just guarantees you push this top lane, because you know this Lone Druid's suddenly half HP. He doesn't really want to fight half HP, but GH making a bit too aggressive play in mid lane. There was actually a Radiant Ward scouting him out there.
Wow, and this is a huge steal for Yapster as well. The Illuminate, level 4. This is something that they like, that mixed together with Fade Bolt basically stops the push of Liquid every time now.
Yeah. I love watching GH with how aggressive he plays as a support, but sometimes he does it like, he overdoes it. In a moment when he doesn't need to, you're playing like a more 5-man Deathball lineup. Last game, it seemed fine for. He needed to be playing that chaotic initiator type role where he put himself in these dangerous positions. But when you're the team that wants to group up, take towers, he doesn't need to be there. He wasn't really achieving a whole lot. He was theoretically dealing with the split push by spamming at mid lane, which is where he'll go once again, but getting picked off like that doesn't feel like a spot he should have been.
Thankfully, he's back there together with the team. Oh, maybe in some trouble now, though. Forev finds the initiation on him. Matumba Man, they still have the Blinding Light to push back the Force Staff away. GH still fine for the moment. Counterplay comes in, though. Miracle is there. Adam trying to run out in a way. He is going to drop. The Illuminate spam goes back the other direction now. The ulti has already been used. Fata's been controlled. He's going to go down as well. Liquid taking no prisoners in this one. And, well, a Sunstrike back over there doesn't quite catch Yapsor.
The doggy is doing Lycan things. He's just going from one objective to the next. You don't need to be all that farmed on a Lycan to get the job done, and we're seeing that here. He's getting heavily out-farmed by an Alchemist, but what Lycan does with the farm he's got is a lot more than what the Alchemist does right at this stage of the game. Bears need to continue to buy time. They need to get that Manta plus Octarine core up before Alchemist is even with those items. I feel like he needs the armor item on top, the Shiver's Guard, before he's totally fight ready. And Liquid, again, they take the objectives, they fall back. They'll wait for the Shapeshift, wait for the Necrobook cooldown, and this time will be a Necro 3 coming up for their push.
And maybe thinking about going on it when it was the Centaur alone, but...
Firo at top. Good. Oh no, he's actually Miracle's in the trees here.
GH, this is not the play they want to go for. Kuro stunned, yeah. Well, there's going to be a tornado combo. They kill off Adam at the very least, but this is on the stomp. They're not going to be able to take down Miracle.
For a guessed wrong, that would have been such a big kill. If they find Miracle there, even though he's got Aegis, that's similar to Game 1 Shadow Fiend, where he has Aegis, but he dies twice. That was a very unfortunate guess from Forever. If he had gone to the south, he knew Miracle blinked in those trees, he just didn't know which spot. That was the big kill that would have suddenly made this game a lot easier to play for Bears.
Right.
Well, the Aegis will be expiring soon, but it would have at least... I mean, you kill Miracle regardless, whether you have to kill him twice or not.
Oh, and they're not expecting him right there. Oh. Just a little bit off the mark. Guy's going to be able to get with the Sunstrike very low. And this is the other thing that's so cool about this lineup. You know, he TPs back home, gets full up, and then Keeper of the Light is able to pull him back in with the recall. So particularly once this Ags comes up and online for Coddle, this game just blows wide open. So I don't even feel like Liquid have yet hit their complete and total peak. They've still got a little bit of room here to grow. And I don't know, Bears, what's the big answer at this stage?
Stall it out. Like, there's not much more to be said. They can't really initiate too easily into the Liquid. Their Liquid squad, their team fight is just too potent. The Blinding Light is really hard to fight into for both Alchemist and Lone Druid. Play around your high ground defense. Potentially you smoke up to try and contest that Roshan using the center initiation, but fighting into the team fight of Brewmaster. And now the Miracle Invoker getting all his levels. He's got level 18 coming soon. His combo's really starting to heat up. I mean, he is just such a dangerous Invoker player to go up against. He is so good at finding those pickoffs in the team fights. We've seen it time and time again where he just snipes a Spirit Breaker all by himself. He almost got the Lone Druid at the end there. He is one freaking scary Invoker. And there's an Assault Crest as Matu's next item. So this is the item that they'll have possibly around Roche number 2, which will allow them to look to break the high ground and make this Alchemist. This Alchemist is looking fairly squishy against all this right-click damage coming out from the Invoker and the Lycan, not to mention all the nuke damage, like Coddle Illuminate, Invoker Sunstrikes, Chaos Meteor combos. There is damage everywhere.
Fata ends up breaking the smoke there, but a key couple of items. We have Mind Control Aghanims done as well as Coddles, and Miracle's actually all alone up top here. Can they go on to him?
Coming.
They're looking for it.
Tough. They're hoping he walks in the jungle. If he walks in, he's channeling the stun.
Going for it. Initiation! They've got him! There's the initiation with the double edge, but Firo ended up stunning himself. Adam's still looking. Tornado save last second. There's going to be the Deafening Blast pushback. And meanwhile, mid lane in some trouble. Sunstrike looking, not going to hit. But they're hitting the tower in the mid lane. Heals coming out from GH as well. Matumba Man.
Recall number 2.
Oh, did they actually break the TP? Did they break that TP of... They don't have the Centaur here for this fight. They broke his TP. Miracle is now in there. Firo trying to get back. They're going to stampede it out, and another Illuminate spam should be able to keep Matumba Man alive if they want to turn it back around. Rooted. Miracle. Still in trouble. They pushed him back up to the high ground. There's Savage Roar. Oh! The stun from Fareb! They get the follow-up stun! The damage is coming out so much! Matumba Man able to back out in a way very, very low. Can they get the heals? They end up killing him! A double for Yapsor! Oh, man! That was gorgeous. And in the meantime, they have the ulti that comes out from the Panda, which is going to be able to turn this back around somewhat, but well, he might end up dying himself. Nice blink out and away. This is going to be a self-stun for Zero.
Yeah, he's got no targets, and Miracle has a combo ready to go. Is he going to be able to kill Pharaoh? The Chemical Rage is on cooldown. Another great Blinding Light, and Spirit Breaker Adam in all sorts of trouble.
Savage Roar saved their life right there, but they still managed to take down that Spirit Breaker. Carnage in the middle lane as every freaking person died, pretty much. But another stun on to Miracle. They can't really finish it up, though.
That was... the most... That Savage Roar, like, my first thought was like, oh, that's helping Miracle escape the high ground where he was out of position by giving him the bonus movement speed until Forev hits a 4-man stun into 4-man Illuminate. That AoE damage was absurd, but now that Lycan's back, the instant recall in. Matu is ready to go. Necro 3, he wants this Rax. Problem is, Bears are also back alive as 5.
And they do hold. They're holding on to this right now. The Tornado comes out, is not going to connect onto anybody. Necro Book's out as well. Savage Roar, get the hell out of my base.
The heal from the Coddle Illuminate helping all those summons stay nice and healthy, as does the Howl, giving them the bonus HP.
Oh, they tried to get the follow-up there as well. Firo does kill off the Necro Book finally, and Matumba Man shapeshift. They look like they want to go in. A couple right clicks onto Forev.
I think they can sustain this push without the Necrobooks. Miracle also very low on mana. They've got sustain in terms of the heals, but as far as like mana goes and their spell usage, it does feel like Liquid should probably be backing off now. Roche has respawned. Shrines are also available for the taking, so it does seem like the time to back off and then recall your way back in. Miracle will heal up his mana pool, likely get recalled by the Coddle, and then could theoretically go for this Shrine, but you're also in a vulnerable position. This is where if you're Bears, you want to smoke out, try and find some kills, try and stop this Roche, impending Roche from happening. Kuro himself wants to smoke, almost acknowledging that that's exactly what Bears are going to be doing as well. Bears have smoked up, headed towards that Roche pit. Liquid need to do the same.
This is a really scary moment for... Oh, the newly minted Lincolns keeps him alive. Wowza, and...
God.
Okay, a little bit of a pause. Okay.
Yeah, DC. They didn't, I mean, they had a split second of vision of Invoker. They didn't even have a moment to think about his item. So the Sword didn't get to check the Lincoln Sphere on him. Definitely no mistakes there. And Centaur was expecting a lift into a stun, so absolutely no mistake there made by Bears. It was just the item pickup from Miracle allowing him to not get caught out there. Whether or not he would have died is another matter. Who knows whether the burst damage would have been enough. I imagine if they'd got the lift into stun with a potential charge or unstable concoction follow-up, it would have been a kill onto Miracle, but he survives, and Bears have to back off. They've got no mana on this Centaur. They've used Stampede. This may just be a free Roche for Liquid.
This is huge. They have a Shrine available, which they can use.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like that's what they're going to go for. But
yeah, if they want to contest Roche, they have to.
It feels to me right now like Liquid have to get this Aegis, whereas Bears, if they don't get it, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. How much pressure are Liquid under right now? Would you agree, or are you just...
I'm not totally on the same page. I think Liquid is still, like, their timing window is still going to last them another 3 to 5 minutes. They're very strong with this Assault Crest coming on Matu. The Invoker scales incredibly well to the late game as an Alchemist counter as well. So I feel like there's actually pressure on Bears to stop Roche from happening.
Okay. Well, Savage Roar comes out. They push back GH for the moment. Also worth noting that Spirit Breaker breaking the Lincolns in the bottom lane. We're going to have to keep our eyes on that as well. They have that ability to instantly take it off if they manage to have vision on Miracle in these extended fights.
That's actually the other really big reason to go this Lincoln's build. Like, when he's split pushing up top, he was so close to dying up top lane. If that Alchemist managed to get the concoction off, which he was like maybe 5 range away from getting off, he just managed to get it. Get out of range before the stun wore off. Like, that's a kill on Miracle. But with a Lincoln Sphere, you know when that charge is coming. So the second your Lincolns pops, you just blink out of a lane. You don't show on the map. When you've got your Lincolns up, you can show anywhere on the map you want, knowing that you're not being charged. The counterplay could be like you charge a creep and try stun your way through Miracle, but that in itself that's very unreliable.
Well, Yapsor, he's also building now back into the next one. Neither side really wanting to take that next step towards moving in and hitting the big bad man, Mr. Roshan. But they've got the vision in there with the Wolves, so should be able to scout that out consistently, Liquid, if they want to try and make that move.
Their play seems to be split push bottom, force Bears to come defend, and then go. Miracle, he gets his Lincoln's pop, he backs off. If Lincoln's is back up, he can now push out again, knowing that he can't be charged. So it's this constant pressure from Miracle. He's even using the Chaos Meter just to push faster. Alacrity's up for Forward Spirit. Someone has to come back and defend. It's going to be Alchemist. The second they see Alchemist, they may head into this Roshan pit. They're recalling Miracle. Matu is going to TP. Roche is on the menu for Liquid.
Yeah, and obviously not having that recall is going to make a pretty big difference. Do they have an idea that this is happening? I'm sure that Bears have to know it, but being able to come and contest a completely different matter. Forev is there. They're also split pushing, though, the top lane.
Thing, yeah.
Lone Druid hits pretty hard on buildings, is what I've heard. Another Mana Leak onto Forev. Sunstrike. Mind Control on top of him now. They have the Curl ulti as well, able to almost bring him down. Forev is going to fall here. So, no Lone Druid.
I think he misclicked. I think he double-clicked his TP. because he popped his Mjolnir and then TP'd. I thought he was TPing to the fight, but he TP'd to the fountain. The only explanation is he misclicked and double-clicked his TP in my mind, so unfortunate mistake for Fata, and Roche secured as well as 2 kills for Liquid. That looked, because Fata had 2 plays. He either split pushes top, tries to trade Roche for like the tier 3 tower, or he comes and fights. And it looks like he was taking the second approach. He even popped the Mjolnir before he TP'd.
All right. Yeah, definitely an odd one. So huge moment right there. Ends up being into the favor of Liquid quite heavily. And now Aegis online with Lycan as well as an AC. You've got all of these items up. The only downside is it's not daytime, but...
that helps the Howl out. It hurts the Cuddle Heal. The Cuddle Heal is better than the double Howl, so... Or is it? I mean, 200 hero bonus health becomes 400. Minions get 200 health extra too, so... You're okay with it being nighttime.
Definitely. Well, Savage Roar didn't really end up forcing anybody back here. The Alchemist illusions are starting to become a bigger and bigger problem. Octarine Core there.
And they've got Radiance too, so it's that mischance on all the summons, on the Lycan himself.
Oh, stun Matumba, man. The Tornado to interrupt everything, though, and there come the heals.
The heal. You're going to get the free Spirit Bear and get the Rax here. Denied by Thera.
All right, well, pulling them back in. A couple more right clicks. They're able to get the ulti now. Another stun, but the nice 4-step out and away. A 2-person stun comes in from the Alk, but it should just be able to be a quick exit for Liquid, as I don't think that Bears have the ability to really chase.
Looks like they're just going to roll their way down bottom lane now. Invoker TP's back, picks up his Soul Booster, close to an Octarine Core. The rest of the team are going to wait around the jungle, perhaps expecting Bears to try and set up, get some vision outside of the base, and just let Miracle solo push the lane for now. The other 4 teammates can quickly and easily recall him back in should they need to, but it's going to just be GH spamming out the impending waves, and now Bears have to find some way to defend the charge on GH. Are they going to look to engage before Miracle's here? That seems like a bold choice, which they're not going to go for.
Yeah. In the meantime,
needs buyback. He's short buyback, so may not see him TP until he gets a bit more gold, which he'll quickly find.
And I mean, you can keep that pressure out as well. Like the other thing is just being able to make sure that they're keeping some pressure on that top lane while this bottom lane is kind of all going wrong. And well, they do start to hit away at this tower. It's tough to figure out what the great answer is. They just don't have the initiation to deal with it or the damage to follow it up.
Does look like Liquid happy to slowly siege and chip away at this one. Just use the Forward Spirits, the Alacrity, Bam on Miracle. Lycan's not even really committing too much for the high ground. He's happy just to let the summons do most of the damage. Perhaps with this heal backing him up, he will go in with the Howl. But there's the stun, just throwing him down. Nice blinding light.
Out of there. There's the big combination as well. Tornado lift up a hell of a lot of damage. Fata as well as Yapzor going down. Miracle, the Magic Man with a triple kill, looking for a bit more. Can they take down Firo? They're going to throw out the EMP combo. Matumba Man a little bit low. Firo out of mana, out of time. There is the lift up onto the Centaur immediately. He is not able to get the counter initiation play. Forev wanted it badly, and well, Rubik stole split. This might be the way back into it. Able to stun on Matumba Man. Firo looking for a bit more. Another great lining light. GH trying to chase. They are going to be able to find him and get that kill, but Matumba Man's still out and away. Aegis not expired. They're trying to find that kill, but they couldn't quite get him. The send back.
Twice.
Yeah, this would be a big one.
Caught. Yep, that's one death, and not sure if Miracle can save him. He's going to go for it.
Oh, the Meatball drops down, but it's not quite enough. There is the lift up, so maybe going to be able to get him out of there. The Deafening Blast goes out as well. Miracle, Ice Wall, not going to be able to get him. Triple kill for Fata, and Miracle just going to be able to get recalled out.
Nice attempt from Miracle. If there was ever any doubt who is the Invoker genius out there, perhaps the best Invoker in the world, although there are maybe some people who would contest that. Miracle making a good claim to that title right there with some of his plays in that team fight. They don't get the Rax though, but a lot of buybacks were forced out. The Centaur as well as the Rubik as well as the Lone Druid. He couldn't take advantage of that short respawn time. He's not level 20 yet. Even if he was, he likely would have had to buy back because Liquid were right at the door of Team Bears. So 3 buybacks is what it takes to hold on to the high ground. Alk still has his, which means he can transition to his next item, which is going to be an Ag Scepter. Centaur Ag seems like the best bet here as far as Ags go. Rubik is not bad, but I think this Rubik is just too squishy. As we'll see, Miracle
going deep for this one. Expected that he was just going to be able to find it, and, well, that is not the play.
Miracle has been cursed. He's no buyback. What just happened?
What?
This is the last time I talk up a player. Yeah, Lyrical. That was insane. That was very questionable.
I feel like GH has been rubbing off on him a little bit.
Back down, He thought he had a free kill on the Rubik, and then he could escape, like blink out and get recalled, I guess. But he gets punished, and he does have. Like, he actually has no buyback right now. Bears don't know that. That is the good thing. Bears don't know the buyback status, but boy, is that a big misplay.
Yeah.
Giving breathing room, towers. At least one tower going to be claimed.
And particularly a lineup
Scepter,
like this that we've talked about, that it's like it's a lineup that's built around like strong timings, and if not only are you going to be able to like not pressure during this point, but also your team, the enemy team, builds up ground. Really, really rough.
Well, this is one of those tense games, like those moments, like sometimes you think you have a play which can open things up for your team, and we saw it top with Fata where he accidentally TPs back to the fountain where he didn't mean to, I can only imagine, and playing this game is in a place where it's still not one for Liquid. That one lane advantage, the late game is still very potent with this Alchemist Lone Druid duo, and the center Ag Scepter is a big game changer. You look at those Invoker combos at bottom lane. If center has an Ag Scepter with a Stampede, the damage mitigation makes a big difference as far as keeping the whole Bears team alive.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to the fact, too, like, you look at these huge items that are up and online now, Octarine Core for Keeper of the Light, you're getting so much farm on these heroes. Like, these games have been going long. You can't stay perfect through all of them, so really, really impressive display from all these players, and waiting to see, I mean, how good is this Octarine Core for Coddle?
Forev went for the blind blink stomp onto GH, didn't quite get him, but they still see him with the high ground ward. Adam loses that vision, won't go for any kind of a deep dive or charge. I mean, all of Coddle's spells this game are amazing still. Mana Leak, it's like, can cripple the Centaur, take away his mana pool, keep Pures locked in place, Illuminate for the AoE damage, the wave clear. Chakra is probably his weakest spell in the late game, but it's still useful. Blinding Light is incredible. It's going to force out a BKB or an MKB on Fata. It looks like he's queued up the BKB. Alchemist himself is not going to have a good answer for the Blinding Light, so it's a very good Octarine just to reduce all those cooldowns.
Yeah. Well, and I think that also, like, the cooldown reduction is kind of unique.
This bottom range tracks. There's the Lycan Rat, Dota. They'll get the free range tracks.
Dirty. I've forgotten about this hero and what it can do to your soul. It's kind of frustrating.
I mean, for one player, he's enjoying it.
Definitely.
He was happy to see Lycan had it back into captain's mode. That was a direct Ice Frog buff to Team Liquid.
Right.
But this game's still not over yet. Ag's number 2. This one will be Rubik's. Yapsaw. See what he can do now in these fights. We've seen some big steals from him, a couple nice Illuminates, and then the Primal Split, of course, has been a very nice steal as well throughout this game.
The Invoker, I feel like whenever you go up against him as Rubik, it's just like throwing themselves back at him and can be just as quick. But, well, Kuroki going to get charged here. They do have the Glimmer Cape, realizing that something could be afoot, and we'll back out for the moment. As Firo? Yeah, he's fine.
They're playing on the front foot. They want to not allow Liquid to secure that next Roshan. Roshan is actually back up. Not that Bears have the easiest way to get in there and take it, but they feel like they can take out this last out of tower.
Miracle jumps forward for Ev, hits the stun onto him. Mind control, counter initiation comes in. They do have the Bruise Split that's already been used now. Looks like the Storm Panda going to be looking for another play, but actually walking uphill ends up getting it fogged a little bit, and they are going to be able to pull back for Ev. Nice Blinding Light.
GH God is so good with Blinding Light. Like, seeing how he uses it as a positioning tool throughout this game, the pushing the center in at the bottom lane when they were pushing high ground plays like that, he fully understands what this spell can do. Top lane, Miracle has found the poor Rubik.
Yeah,
not gonna help you.
Well, wanted to make something happen there, but a little bit unfortunate. Miracle spotted him, and then obviously Shiva's guard to get that vision, and now that does pave the way for Roshan. No buybacks right now on Rubik or the Centaur, so they will be able to take this again, and gotta be a little bit concerned now for Bears. Their high ground defense, a little bit hurt at this point.
Last time they lost the mid racks, but defended bottom lane. They've got a bit more in terms of items now, but as do Liquid. So this Aegis may be perhaps that bottom melee racks. Ideally, they want to go top since there's still the full tier 3 tower and racks there. So if they can get one lane, top lane's going to be the bigger claim for them. Miracle's going to defend top and then likely get recalled. It potentially could TP back, but ideally you just use the recall cooldown. And now Bear's high ground defense will be tested once again. BKB, not quite enough money for Fata. Similarly, he may be thinking buyback is more important for this high ground defense.
You know what would be really interesting here coming up pretty soon is the Spirit Breaker Aghanims. It feels like I mean, the next one, the Bear Aghanims isn't really going to be that effective until you get more items.
Yes.
But that AoE.
Yeah. I also like, very small thing that I've noticed Fata's doing, he's carrying a Mango. This is like a really cool little small play. It just means if he gets mana leaked and has to run away, he can pop the Mango up when he's on 0 mana to make sure he can still get off something like a Savage Roar or like a Rabbit to give him the extra movement speed. So very small thing, but like for the small price point, if you've got an item slot, it's worth carrying.
Oh, definitely. Maybe a little bit unfortunate for the team that he does have that extra item slot at this point, but...
yeah, you'd rather he's 6-slotted, but...
Work with what you got. Well, up and forward, Mind Control hitting away onto these barracks, or tower rather. Yapsor gets the pullback in. Firo gonna follow it up. Mind Control eats the cheese. Oh, he is gonna be able to live through this one, at least for the moment. Has the Bruce Split still if he wants to use it. And meanwhile, bottom lane, they're getting split push here. Matumba Man making it work, and they're pulling them back and forth across the map. Such a frustrating game to play right now as Fata forced down their bottom, and now they're going to turn forward. They've been able to stun up Firo for the moment and trying to look for more. Oh, Forev, he couldn't get it off. He is in trouble now, and well, with the Bruce Split going, they're going bottom, they're going top. Matumba Man is going to end up dropping for this, but that's just the Aegis, and now up here in the top lane, Firo left completely alone. He is going to end up going for the stun in just a second. Miracle able to get out and away, and able to pop the BKB before the stun hits him. Looking for more from Miracle. Fata on top of him. The right click's coming through. They have the death stun as well. Ice Wall going to be able to keep him, but now the charge comes through from the Spirit Breaker. Yapsor looking for more. Stolen Stampede. They lift up onto Kuro to break that ulti, and oh my god, he cold snaps and blinks back away. Adam in some trouble. They're going to take him down. Oh no, and now everything goes out. GG gets called. They can't hold. Liquid. They end up taking it in the end.
Jeez, what a... Every single game of this series was fantastic. That's what's impressed me most. Like, I look at that, like the first best of 3 we had today, 3 games, but very draft-driven. Like, game 1, I felt like all 3 games were slide-out drafts. Game 2 was a heavily out-draft for Secret with the TA over the Zeus. None of these 3 games felt like it was a big out-draft. Maybe game 2 with the Meepo last pick was like a Liquid favored draft, but it didn't feel like they won single-handedly because of the draft. These were games that came down to execution, big team plays, and really big individual plays. Like GH got on his Coddle, had some really nice blinding light pushbacks. Miracles Invoker showed up big time at every stage of this game. The early to mid game Sunstrike from Tornado combos, he was getting kills all over. The late game teamfight presence, and even Bears themselves did such a good job holding on, buying time for the Alchemist to get farmed. They just got pulled apart in the end by that Liquid split push, though.
Well, really impressive display from Team Liquid. Bears are going to drop down into the lower bracket to face off against Cloud9, and then, of course, the winner of that game is going to go on to face Liquid again. And I don't know, I feel like Cloud9 have been playing really impressive Dota and getting better with each and every match, but I also feel like Liquid might be a little bit too much. It will be a really interesting match to watch no matter what, and I'm really excited to see what happens after the fact. Gods, any final words here before we sign off?
I mean, this whole European qualifier, like each region, like you've been casting the CS one, every qualifier just feels like a mini tournament in itself. I feel like by the end of this, it's like, it feels like that's the end of the tournament, but that's just one qualifier for one spot in Europe. It feels like Bears and Liquid are on another level to the other teams in this European qualifier, but at the same time, C9 have continued to play better and better. They've definitely proven that they are the third best team in this qualifier. If they can step up their game even further, or maybe just have some really sick pocket strats and drafts, because I feel like C9 often win off of draft. Like, that's what they need to do tomorrow when they go up against Bears, which is going to be a tough match for them, but we've seen some crazy stuff, so I wouldn't count Cloud9 out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys again so much for watching. Lyrical as well as God's 2 commentators. Cap was on a little bit earlier before his computer died, sadly. But they'll be back again tomorrow. More great action soon to follow. And then a little bit later on, we've got the start of NA, which occurs after the end of EU, if I'm not mistaken. And then following that up will be the CIS region qualifiers as well in the playoffs. So DAC 2017, it's happening, everybody. Stay tuned. More great action to come for the next couple of days. We'll see you then.